Hello, I'm BrigantiaBlackbird with Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome to the daily forecast for Saturday, December 21st, 2024. It is the first of Capricorn and it is the day of gifts. So you know what this means. It is the actual winter solstice. It is the second day of Yule, and I hope you like the picture I found on Pinterest of the Holly King passing his crown onto the Oak King. I have found a lot of people doing some very beautiful artwork on this theme, so I hope you're finding things to delight your own senses. So today we celebrate the rebirth of the sun. We might choose to read up on the legend of the Holly King and the Oak King. We can honor deities like Balder, Lu, and Mithras, who are said to have been born on the winter solstice. Baking citrus flavored treats is a great thing to do, bringing in a little bit more of that solar energy, encouraging the return, making the sun shine if we possibly can. It's a day of feasting, possibly with a roast, root vegetables, and crusty bread. But whatever you do, you could do prepared with gusto, it'll be perfectly appropriate. And of course, this is also an excellent time for us to get out in nature and to enjoy however winter is manifesting in our area, because in a lot of areas of the country, it's been up and down as far as temperature has been going. So however winter is appearing to you right now, whether it's very harsh or it's very mild or something in between, enjoy it for what it is, and look at what delights it has to offer you. So for our astrology, the sun is in Capricorn, cardinal earth sign, and it represents ambition. The moon is in third quarter Virgo, mutable earth, which is task oriented. Mercury is in Sagittarius, mutable fire, which is to be opinionated. Venus is in Aquarius, fixed air, which is to be intellectual. Mars is retrograding in Leo, fixed fire, which is tempered action. Jupiter is retrograding in Gemini, mutable air, which is to broaden perspective. Saturn is in Pisces, mutable water, representing nostalgia. Uranus is retrograding in Taurus, fixed earth, which is rebellion. Neptune is in Pisces, mutable water, which represents intuition. And Pluto is in Aquarius, fixed air, which represents reformation. Now, for our retrograde reminders for Mars, reconsider what you really want, especially now that the sun is in Capricorn. All of this, I think we can look at with a little bit of renewed vigor and energy, because once Capricorn gets moving, once we're past all the feasting and the celebrating of Yuletide, Capricorn's going to be our driving force for the next little while. Then for Jupiter, reconnect with your true path. Hyper important. I think we're all going to be reevaluating our spiritual priorities over the next few years and thinking about where we actually need to be walking. And then with Uranus, reconsider how you rebel. And I would say also consider what exactly are you in rebellion of. I think that's also worth contemplating, because what we think that we're in rebellion of and what the actual issue is, they might be a little bit different. So the sooner we become aware of that, the sooner we can reconcile those issues. And then for Chiron, restore the heroic spirit. So we have that waning gibbous mood, so it's time to express gratitude. For the theme of the Virgo moon, it's discrimination and efficiency. And this winter solstice, it might have us feeling even more nostalgic than we usually do at this time of year. We might also be feeling quite choosy about what we want to do, who we want to be around, and what energy we actually want to have around us. So definitely enjoy this festive season. Make the most of that solstice. I hope you got to see the dawn. And stick to activities that give you, the warm fuzzies. So focus on cultivating those warm fuzzies. Our tarot for today is the Page of Good Cheer. Pages in this deck represent innocence, openness, optimism, and enthusiasm. The Suit of Good Cheer, think the Suit of Cups and the element of water. Keywords for this card are kind, attentive, and over-analytical. So we do have a danger of overthinking perhaps today, perhaps getting too caught up in, executing the plan for the feast and everything else, that we can distract ourselves. But if we cultivate that spirit of kindness, if we are attentive not only to our dinner plans that we are putting into practice, but also more importantly to the people around us, that'll help us rebalance out to where we're getting, the enjoyment of this energy that's in the atmosphere without falling afoul or, getting distracted with, the details. Next, our Celtic triad of the day, 3 things which the fool calls imprudent. To seek knowledge, come what will, to give alms without thinking what is to come, and to endure for truth and justice without fear of what may come. Seeking knowledge without fear of how the truth may overthrow your opinions or even your whole worldview, that is really a mark of integrity. And that's something that I think a lot of pagans have some experience in because in order to become pagan, in order to start practicing our path now, we probably did have to reevaluate a lot of our previous opinions, a lot of what we were taught on the religious level before, possibly even how we view the world as being put together. But we face that challenge. So, going forward, we shouldn't be afraid of having to face that challenge again because there's always refinements that we need to make. And there's nothing wrong with looking at different possibilities and thinking it through. There's nothing that says that we have to come to immediate conclusions and then stick to those really rigidly for the rest of time. We need to allow ourselves a little bit of flexibility just because human error and also because sometimes learning new information can really change things for us. And then when it comes to charity, charity is really an act of hope. The hope that the aid that is being rendered is actually going to help. And those on the receiving end, well, they have the responsibility to make the most of it. You cannot control what they ultimately do that. But if you only give when you have a predetermined outcome in mind and you have some kind of assurance that it will absolutely take place, that isn't really real life. Having a little bit more charity and just saying, well, I'm putting this goodness into the universe, and what's done with it, that's on their end. I think that is a much better way of going through life. And then courage, because truth and justice require it. That is the absolute epitome of the noble spirit. And if there's one thing fools do not possess, it is a noble spirit. Today's correspondences are on the theme of grounding. We have the color black for this. The plant is the juniper tree, the animal is the owl, and the crystal is black tourmaline. Now that the festive season is in absolute full swing, be sure to ground from time to time to help keep your energy balanced. Also, remember, this is a time of year in which the unseen world is quite active. The wild hunt is underway for sure. So, grounding our energy can help us get from being too caught up on any of the oogie boogie that might be flowing around us at the moment. Then today's hearth-keeping hint, if you are able, make a big deal of our holy days at home with your family and emphasize connecting with each other through these shared traditions, particularly if you have children. This is part of their spiritual heritage. And you don't know what decisions they might make about their spirituality once they become adults and they have families of their own and everything else. But if you do not give them something that is special and sacred to you, you are denying a part of their heritage. So definitely, if you possibly can, make a big deal of these days. And again, it isn't about the expense. It isn't even about the decoration. It's about the spirit. It's about the meaning. It's about the celebrating, the connection, and each other's company. So today for our practices, of course, celebrate the winter solstice first and foremost. This is a good day for more formal altar work if we're of a mind to. Our archetype today is the winter witch, because a witch is a witch all year long. But what can the witch in winter teach us? Because she has different lessons than what we might learn in spring, summer, or autumn. Then for meditation, really focusing upon family connections. And then if you have some jet, you might choose to carry or wear it today. For our creative corner, it's all about those outdoor celebrations, and I picked this very simple picture quite deliberately because all that it is little pieces of evergreen branches arranged in a spiral with a bit of candles in the center of it. That is really all that it is. Because if we choose to have outdoor celebrations, they don't have to require endless amounts of material. If we have sprigs of evergreen, we make use of stones lying around, fallen feathers. These can all be used for last minute ritual space construction, whether we're doing a circle or spiral or anything else. So if you really want to get outside and celebrate today, don't feel like you can't just because you might not necessarily have everything you would ideally desire. If you have some fallen twigs, that can be enough. Then for our journal prompt, of course, later on today, how did your winter solstice ritual go? Talk all about that. It's another way of reveling and enjoying it. So, on that note, everyone, happy solstice. Have a magical day. I wish you bright blessings and all the joys of the season. share what you're getting up to in the comments. You never know who you might inspire, especially if we have people who are perhaps newcomers to a pagan's face or newcomers to the craft, and this might be their very first year. Getting to hear about other people's experiences and their plans that could be extraordinarily helpful to them, and then that way they're not just getting their information just from me. They're also seeing what other people in the community get up to. It's good to have a lot of different voices and a lot of different inspiration for that. But that's what I have for you guys today. Come back tomorrow for the next edition of the Daily Forecast, and I will see you then.